Hello, I am the coach of the Pokemon Draft League team, the Los Angeles Drampa. I entered a draft league, the Skiddy VGC Draft League, which allows all Pokemon legal in the VGC Regulation F format, infamous for being dominated by Calm Mind Raging Bolt. The draft is a snake draft with Pokemon costing from 20 to 1 point, depending on their value. Since I was the 16th seed, I expected no 20-point Pokemon to be left on the board due to there only being 8 of them. However, 2 remained. Whimsicott at my first pick of the draft, Urshifu Single Strike. That's right folks, I managed to get my hands on one of the best Pokemon in VGC period. With its high attack, broken signature move, and ability to bypass Protect altogether, Urshifu is one of the best Pokemon for this draft league, and I was so happy I could snag it. Due to being so close to the end of the snake, I needed to find a Pokemon that hits all of Urshifu's weak points. I needed a special attacker that could deal with fairy and fighting types. I ended up finding the perfect partner, my number 2 pick, Iron Crown. Despite not being the flashiest Pokemon, at least for now, Iron Crown has near perfect synergy of Urshifu due to its stab combination and ability to KO through focus sashes, with its signature move Tachyon Cutter. It also has one of, if not the strongest spell attack in the game, Expanding Force. However, in order for Expanding Force to reach its full potential, we need a way to set up Psychic Terrain. That sounds easy enough to get, but now that I have Iron Crown, the other coaches have been alerted to my potential Spy Spam route with my team. However, the coaches didn't snipe any of the 2 Psychic Surge Pokemon on the board, so I was able to draft my number 3 pick, Indeedee Female. Female Indeedee is a really good supporting option for both Urshifu and Iron Crown, being able to redirect their attacks, prevent them from priority, and boost their damage with Helping Hand. It's also the first sign of speed control in this team, with the Trick Room as a really good option for it. Overall, it's just a very good supporting Pokemon, and I'm happy to have it on the team. Oh boy, what you call it? Recording with no script anymore is gonna be tough, but it's whatever. Yeah, this could go by so quickly. Yeah. Anyways, my number 4 pick is another Pokemon that's able to sweep with Expanding Force. However, it's much faster than everything else I have right now. My number 4 pick is Iron Valiant. Next up is Iron Valiant, an extremely versatile Pokemon for a draft league. It has many different supporting options in Icy Wind, Wide Guard, and Trick Room, but also a lot of good offensive attacks in Spirit Break, Close Combat, Moonblast, or Spear, etc. It could also pair up with my other Pokemon very well because it also gets access to Expanding Force. But it's also way faster, and your opponents, well, they could expect it to run Expanding Force. They're never 100% certain on it. Overall, Iron Valiant can just do a lot for your team, and I expect to bring it a lot of weeks. And for my next Pokemon, I decided to bring a little bit more into that Trick Room mode. I was originally going to go with Glastrier, but that got sniped right before me. So instead, under all the pressure, I went for a 2-point Ice type that could also fill the same role as Glastrier, Hisuian Avalugg. Hisuian Avalugg is an extremely underrated Trick Room attacker. Despite being so low on the point board, it could provide a lot of damage with its Stab Mountain Gales and Rock Slides. It could deal spread damage, it could deal strong single target damage, and it could always live a hit thanks to Sturdy. I used it in many different formats, so out of pretty much every player, maybe ever, I have the most experience with it. So I am very happy to have it, though I would much prefer Glastrier. It has very low speed, so it works well in Trick Room, but hopefully Sturdy could come in handy sometime outside Trick Room, maybe as a win condition. And speaking of Trick Room Pokemon that could work out of Trick Room, my next Pokemon is very bulky, but also a very, very strong Trick Room attacker, Anguirus Therian. Anguirus is one of the strongest Trick Room attackers thanks to its natural bulk and really high special attack stat. And especially because its Springtide Storms and Terraflying and Terra Blasts do way too much damage. It also has a very big move pool with coverage moves such as Earth Power and Mystical Fire. So it could have a lot of things for super effective damage. But it also has really good natural bulk, so it could take a hit or two outside of Trick Room as well. It's overall a really good Pokemon. But we need like a dedicated Trick Room setter for this team now, because at that point why even have all these slow Pokemon that don't even function? Out of all the ones that were left on the board, the one that stuck out to me the most was Chandelure. Chandelure is probably the best Trick Room setter on the board that was left at this point. It's not the best, far from it, however it has a really big special attack stat at a very nice 145. It also has a lot of good attacking moves, a Shadow Ball, Heat Wave, and an Energy Ball. In general, it's just like good defensively, or good enough defensively, good enough offensively. Just a strong pick as a Trick Room setter, or the strongest thing I could get, just for Trick Room. I don't expect to bring out a lot. However, it could do something with like a Choice Scarf, Heat Wave set next to Indeedee. That could catch people off guard, but besides that, mostly just a Trick Room setter. But I need other forms of speed control for my faster Pokemon, like Urshifu and Iron Crown. So I wanted a Tailwind setter. And so I went with the best available one, at least that I could see of, Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel is a surprisingly fast Tailwind setter with a decent enough special attack, so it can provide some offensive value too. It has two really good abilities, in Wind Power and Competitive. Wind Power gives it a boost to its electric type attacks once Tailwind goes up, which is really nice. So it could basically set up itself and its partners in one turn. In Competitive, can punish opponents for wanting to lower its stats, which actually comes up a lot. Good luck snarling this thing before Competitive goes up. Overall, just like pretty good Pokemon. I was considering Raikou for the electric type, but I think that was taken before I got Kilowattrel. And plus I wanted it with a different Tailwind setter anyways, so overall, good pick. It's gonna lift its weight, trust me. This is recorded after week 1. So, good, Kilowattrel's the GOAT, and my next pick is Duraludon. Duraludon is a somewhat bulky Iron Defense Body Press Pokemon with access to a really unique ability in Stalwart, which allows it to ignore redirection from opponents. This means that I could like Dragon Tail or Roar a Pokemon that would like set up Trick Room in front of a Follow Me user, or just deal big damage to something while ignoring said redirection. I don't expect to bring it to too many games, however it could bring some use. I drafted it as my 9th pick just because my 11th pick is less likely to get sniped than my 9th and 10th. And speaking of that 10th pick, that pick is Qwilfish. I needed a water type, I needed an Intimidate Pokemon. Qwilfish is like the only one left. Gyarados was taken from me, so I had to reevaluate like my entire draft for the last few picks. So Qwilfish is basically what was left. It could do a few things like Destiny Bond, Icy Wind, Thunder Wave, maybe like some Aqua Jet, Weakness Policy procs. On Chandelure, I guess. I don't really know, it's just kind of here. I mean, Intimidate is nice, you know, damage reduction, cool. I could, like, it might come to a game or two, but overall, it's just kind of there, you know. It could threaten, like, my opponent to bring something in the builder. Though with that said, like, stab gunk shots do hit for a lot of damage, so they still got respected. So overall, like, Qwilfish is, like, okay, but, I'm probably not gonna use it a lot. But my next pick, however, of the 3 last picks I have, I saved the best for last, Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves is my final pick of the draft. Between all the grass types that were 7 points and below, this is the only one that seemed like a good option for my team. Stab Psyblade in the Psychic terrain does lots of damage. It also has other good moves like Leaf Blade, Swords Dance, and Sacred Sword. In general, it could just be like a strong physical attacker, and even annoying booster seats support moves like Quash and Metal Sound. It's actually surprisingly good, and it could pull in its weight in a lot of games. Despite being my last pick, I see myself bringing it a lot. Overall, I'm very happy with my draft. The snipes could have gone better. Like, I would prefer like Sceptile, Gyarados as my last 2, as opposed to Duraludon, Qwilfish, Iron Leaves, and then like maybe Suicune, Raikou over Chandelure and Kilowattrel could have also worked. But overall, like, my draft's really nice, and the season is gonna be I feel it because I have an Urshifu this time. Actually, no, I had an Urshifu last time, but it didn't go well. I'm so lucky I didn't upload that one to YouTube. Anyways, see you on my first draft match next week against the Tea Drinking Bonkers. It'll be up tomorrow or the day after. See ya.